Today, I just wanted to touch upon a topic that I thought about like for a while. As an atheist, why do I follow Christian values? Um, Really, it starts like my history. I ended up, as a kid, like very young, kind of deciding I don't see God really being a thing. Went through different religious texts and various things, and just came to that conclusion on my own. But as I got older, most of the time I ended up in a situation where, you would have people come to the house, usually Protestants, but sometimes other religions, to talk to you about God. And I would have conversations with them. But at the end, after they couldn't convince me, it would end up in a screaming match of them yelling at me how I'm going to hell and that basically and other insults. And just really, I kind of shied away from the church at that point. But as I got older, really, I'm an insulin dependent diabetic. Didn't, since I was two, ended up in a situation where I kind of didn't take care of myself as well and ended up in my early 30s, ended up in a coma. Was legally declared brain dead and ended up in a situation where, I was lost, like completely trying to recover. That took close to a year to get all of my mental faculties back where so I can talk freely like I am now. But the biggest problem really was that, the only people that really reached out, I had a lot of friends. Very few of them that were non Christian reached out. They just ignored me at that because I didn't have the money. I didn't have what they wanted, or I wasn't going to be able to go do stuff with them. So it instantly became, well, now I don't have a reason for you, so you go away. Whereas I had a few Christians that came up and said, hey, man, I understand, if there's a situation, I'm going to be praying for you, but, it's cool that you don't believe, but if you ever want to reach out and talk about it, we can. Now, truthfully, I thank them. I haven't reached out because I haven't had that interest to do that. But, I thanked them and still keep them close to me as far as good friends. Now, the biggest thing is, after that, I started paying attention, started watching as the world kind of slowly changed. A lot of Christians softened their view. They're not going up to people as much. I'm sure it still happens, but not as much screaming about hellfire and brimstone. Probably because I stay away from the Protestant sect. I have a lot of Catholic and Orthodox friends that, I really do listen to and, and cherish as good friends. But biggest thing is that as I started breaking it down, I said, okay, can I actually, through my mental process, figure out like basically why I shouldn't follow the Christian guidelines, which is be a good person, take care of your family, have plenty of kids, things like this. And I couldn't come up to a conclusion. I broke it down like one, be a good person. Well, naturally, I'm a very kind hearted person. Now, I will get into a fight with you. Don't get me wrong, but generally, I'm not going around, trying to start fights with people. I generally want to ask questions and kind of learn what they're about. So, I was like, okay, I can follow that. Just be a good person. Two, goes back to provide for your family. Now, in that case, including having kids, I'm single, don't have any kids whatsoever. Kind of stayed away from that. Disabled person, trying to get everything set, which I'm getting back to health. Still losing a little bit of belly fat, but that takes time. But why would I, be mad at somebody for starting a family, taking care of their family? I can't do like there's nothing that I can say that that's wrong about. But the only thing why I still can't comprehend God Himself. Like, that's just not probably ever going to happen. And don't worry, I'm not grifting saying, oh, and then like 6 months later, like, oh, I found the Lord. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm a very real person that has real thoughts and feelings, and I just don't see that happening. But generally, like, I'm watching how like atheists have started sliding away from just core like fundamental beliefs of being good people. Generally, the first thing they do is God's causing all this. No, he's not. It's other factors in. I'll probably do videos on what I really think's going on. Maybe a little bit of conspiracy in there, but it's just my honest thoughts. But like when you break it down to a core level, like what's wrong with being a good person? What's wrong with just even if you disagree with their worldview? I have Muslim friends. Like they have certain ways they do things that I disagree with. Not all of them, but there's a few that I do. But they're generally good people. Have Hindu friends, Taoist, all these different religions that, I consider friends. And, really, I don't agree with their actual, at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen when you die. But um, really, it comes down to they're all good people. And I think as a community, in general, we should start building our communities of different types of people. You can have atheists, religious people, um, different types. Uh, and then we can start building something better. Like one of the biggest things right now is that I think that as a nation, we've fallen so far down a rabbit hole. Like I don't think that pornography should be banned. I don't think any of those things. But why are we openly pushing? Where I saw on the other day on Twitter or X now, basically how a police department was promoting one of their canine unit female officers doing OnlyFans. Going, well, it's a good thing because she's donating to the actual canine causes as far as our police department. That's actually sad. I remember when they would do something like that, they would sell like a bake sale. They would do like a donation drive, stand outside of a Walmart and say, hey, we're trying to get money for our dogs and give us a good reason, and we would give them money. Now it's like, well, no, we're just going to have one of our female officers just fully go nude and do like stupid things and basically promote degeneracy in general. That is horrific to me. Um, but at the end of the day, I may not agree that God exists, but I still will follow the values of God as far as the sins, things like that, for a reason. Now, I've been rambling for a little bit. I appreciate you watching all the way through. If you like the video, give it a like. Make sure to share it around. I'll be posting this on X and YouTube. And also, if you've got comments, leave a comment. I don't mind responding to people. And if you have serious questions, or even, if you want to challenge me in some way, I don't mind. I think this is an open community I'm trying to build, and I want people to be able to have their word. Thank you, and you have an awesome day.